Hi. Yeah, oh, that's so nice. Clap. That's so cool. Yeah, I feel like now I shouldn't really actually even do anything. That was such a wonderful introduction. It just might all go downhill after that. But it is a treat to be here at this show. I like coming out to events and performing at events that I haven't performed at. And this, I think, is a pretty decent audience, actually pretty size-wise. There's more people here than there are back in my bedroom at my apartment. So this is, things are looking up. And I like that. And as David said, I do help out and a lot in the city with poetry and spoken word. I co-host a radio show on Co-op Radio. I don't actually, yeah, so there's three of us that run it, myself, Diane LaLoge, and S.R. Duncan, and it runs every Wednesday. We had it today from 2 to 2:30, and if you get a chance to listen in, you can do so on the internet or on satellite radio or on your local radio here, 102.7 FM, and I help out with the Vancouver Poetry Slam as well. But tonight, like doing a different show outside of the parameters of the Poetry Slam, it's exciting because for myself anyhow, and I try to write outside the parameters of the Poetry Slam. If you haven't been to a Poetry Slam, basically the parameters are you've got about 3 minutes to have the length of your poem, because if you start going over that, you get time penalties docked off and you don't win and all that sort of stuff. So doing shows outside of the slam, you have the opportunity to try stuff that's of different length. And so I thought for tonight I would move that chair and then talk to you also to do some, really longer poems. Poems that were, more than just 3 minutes long, and that I've been working on really hard and trying to get into shape, trying to mold perfectly for a night like tonight. A night at the Indies in Vancouver. I want to do that just for you. So I've got some longer form poems, and this is the first one. And so hopefully you can indulge me in it and focusing and paying attention, because it's got some great wordplay. It's really fantastic, I think. I mean, it might be the best thing I've ever done, but it's really long, and so I need you just to focus and pay attention. So here we go. Okay, here we go. Are you ready? Are you okay? Okay, cool. People in glass houses shouldn't throw up. Hockey haiku. Devouring Swedes, Don Cherry poops hockey pucks. IKEA stocks drop. No, it's just so funny. It's just so good, I know. So yeah, in this one, if you remember, I don't know how many of you are actual hockey fans, but the last time the Vancouver Canucks made the Stanley Cup Finals, a fellow who was on their team was by the name of Pavel Bure. He was my favorite hockey player of all time, the Vancouver Canucks, and back when I was, like in '94 was when they did that, and I was just a little boy. I was like 10 years old in 1994, and Pavel Bure came and visited me in the hospital because I was really sick. And this is a poem that I wrote about Pavel's visit to see me in the hospital back in 1984. And yeah, I just thought I wanted to share with you tonight, because the Canucks are in the playoffs. It was 2-0 Vancouver last report over St. Louis late in the second period. But this is Pavel Bure, great guy, coming to visit me in the hospital. I remember his lips, Pavel's lips. The lips of Pavel Bure. Small, red, and moist. Like a cherry Jolly Rancher in the mouth of a prepubescent girl. I was 13 years old with no lips of my own. At least I had no lips to speak of. Hospitalized and depressed all by myself, I was awaiting my toe amputation. Then one day, like a red magic apple, Pavel came to visit. He smiled like a card trick, his lips as red as a mosquito's belly filled with blood. Pavel promised, "I'll score 2 goals for you tonight. Then I'll come back and kiss your new toe." He smiled and parted those lips
lips as red as the Commie Manifesto. That night, the Canucks were shut out by Hartford. Pavel didn't even get a shot on goal. After the game, he said, "I did my best. What can you do? The nurses told me not to cry. Sometimes things don't work out and no one knows why. I wanted to bite off their breasts and make them scream for saying something so stupid." The next morning, I remember how bored the doctor looked when he told me they had amputated my toe during the night while I was sleeping. He said it was like I was keeping him from picking something from between his teeth. But mostly, I remember how Pavel never came back. No phone calls, no cards, no more fire engine lies. Eventually, I was released. The hospital let me keep the amputated toe. It looked like the tip of a circumcised dick. I named it Pavel Bure.
Thanks. I don't know if you remember or know, I mentioned this to some friends who are only about 10 years younger than I am, and they had no idea of who this fellow was when he passed away. Ricardo Montalban died a couple months ago, and I don't know if anybody knows. Richard might, yes, well, he was Khan in Star Trek. He was in the Planet of the Apes. He was Mr. Rourke from Fantasy Island, and of course he had that TV commercial from the 1970s, I think, about rich Corinthian leather and all that. So I wrote a short little poem about the passing of Ricardo Montalban, trying to encapsulate his life and his career into about 45 seconds and maybe 40 words. So this is my tribute to Ricardo Montalban. It's entitled Archipelago Ghosts. Con is Montalban, a Ricardo, a Montalban. A con is Montalban, a Ricardo, a Montalban. From Planet of the Apes to Corinthian leather, Mr. Rourke and Tattoo kept that island together. If only his fantasy was never to die, then I could still laugh and I wouldn't cry. Gone is Montalban, a Ricardo, a Montalban. A gone is Montalban, a Ricardo, a Montalban. Look, boss! The grave! The grave! Thank you very much. Thank you, and enjoy the movies, enjoy Janet Panic.